y'all, and welcome to the YMCA of Greater Birmingham. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Brittany, and I will be guiding you through your yoga practice today. Before we get started, some things that you might like to have are 2 yoga blocks and a yoga strap. If you don't have those things at home, don't worry, you have other things you can use instead. For a strap, you can use a towel, a t-shirt, your dish rag, anything that will just offer you some extra length when we come into some more flexible poses. And then for yoga blocks, you can use your coffee table, a chair, a wall, anything that you can slightly put weight on and to help you keep your balance. Now, when we get started, I like to start every class in a place of comfort. So you can stay seated upright if you like, or you can come to lying down on your back, on your belly, on your side, whatever is going to be most comfortable for you. I'm going to go ahead and come onto my back. And we're not doing anything. We're simply resting. You can have your eyes open or closed. And we just take these first few moments to come into the present moment, to come into our body, and to just mentally and physically prepare for our yoga practice today. And so we're just noticing our breath. Is it deep or is it shallow? Does the belly move when you inhale and exhale, or is the air trapped in the lungs and around the rib cage? If you're feeling any tension or tightness within the body, see if you can let those go with each exhale you take, and allowing your body to sink lower into the mat and letting the ground support your weight. Really doing our best to make sure we're breathing in and out through the nose. The jaw is unclenched. The tongue is hanging freely in the mouth, and the brow is nice and relaxed. And we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together. So on your next inhale, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, opening the mouth, letting it go. 2 more times, deep inhale in through the nose, opening the mouth, and then 1 more time, deep inhale in through the nose, opening the mouth, letting it go. Great job, guys. Slowly begin reawakening the body. We're going to wiggle fingers and toes. And we're going to move our chin from side to side. And then you can choose to rise up any way you'd like. You can roll onto your side in the fetal position and rise up nice and slow. Or if you want a little bit more energetic movement, you can bring the knees into the chest and begin gently rocking forward and back, giving yourself a little spinal massage. And just keep rocking until you find yourself all the way up. And we're gonna find our way in a cat-cow. So coming onto our hands and knees in a tabletop position. We wanna make sure we have our joints in alignment. So we're looking for shoulders over elbows over wrists. The fingers are gonna be spread nice and wide. And then we're looking for our hips to be stacked over the knees. Tops of the feet are going to be down. So if you have those toes tucked, go ahead and untuck them. Our gaze is going to be on the front edge of our yoga mat. So we're keeping that cervical spine in line with the tailbone and the hips. We're gonna use this time in our cat-cows to link breath to movement. Remember that the breath always comes first. So if you ever feel yourself losing those steady inhales and exhales, that's your body letting you know to take a quick break. From here, on your next inhale, take a deep breath in through the nose. We're gonna drop the belly, reach the chin up towards the sky, coming into cow. Exhale, we're gonna round the spine. Tuck the chin, cat. Inhale, drop the belly, reach the chin up, cow. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, cat. Now my movements may be too fast or too slow for you, so use this opportunity to follow your own breath, let it be your guide. And let it decide how fast or slow you come into these cat-cows. Great job, guys. We're gonna do a few more. Get yourself nice and even on these cat-cows. And the next time you find yourself in that neutral spine, we're gonna stop here. Coming in to thread the needle. So on the inhale, we're gonna reach that right arm up to the sky, and we're gonna bring our gaze up by our right hand. On the exhale, we're gonna take this right hand, we're gonna slide it underneath our left side body, make sure the palm is facing down, and we're gonna place the right cheek onto the mat. If you want, you can keep the left hand where it is, or you can reach that left arm up to the sky and wrap it behind the back to deepen your twist. Trying to bring that gaze up towards the sky. If that left hand is behind you, go ahead and place it back down onto the mat. We're gonna use our left hand as leverage to push ourselves up. We're gonna unthread the needle, reach that right arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down, we're back in that tabletop, taking a moment here, making sure we're finding that alignment, keeping our center. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, we're gonna reach that left arm up to the sky, that gaze is up. And from here, we're gonna take that left hand, slide it underneath the right side body, the palm is facing down, and place that left cheek onto the mat. Now remember, each side of the body is gonna be a little different. We're not designed to be perfectly symmetrical. So if you're finding one side harder than the other, just meet your body where it's at and go as deep as your body wants to go. You can keep the left hand down, or you can lift it up, right hand. You can keep the right hand down or lift it up and wrap it behind the small of the back. Trying to bring that gaze up towards the sky. We're not clenching the jaw. We're breathing in and out through the nose, nice and steady. Holding for just a little bit longer. If that right arm is behind you, reach it up, place it back down. Using that right hand as leverage, we're gonna unthread the needle, reach that left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down. Finding that neutral position, holding steady. Coming into gate pose. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take our, I'm actually gonna start on the right side. So we're gonna take our right foot and we're gonna kick it out with the kickstand of the bike. From here, we're gonna roll onto our right side body. Now we really wanna make sure we're not collapsing onto this right shoulder. We're pushing the floor away from us The neck is nice and long, and we're gonna reach that left arm up towards the sky, bringing the gaze up towards our fingertips. You can keep the left leg down, or if you wanna work your core, you can pick that left leg up. Gate pose. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the leg. Exhale, lower the arm. Come back into that tabletop position. Same thing on the other side. We're gonna kick our left leg out like a kickstand of a bike, and we're gonna roll onto the left side body, really making sure that there's a big space between our ear and our shoulder and we're not collapsing down. So nice and strong through the neck, reaching that right arm up to the sky. The right leg can stay down, or on the inhale, you can pick it up. Holding our gate pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower that right leg, lower that right arm, coming back into that tabletop pose. From our tabletop, we're gonna tuck the toes behind us and prepare for our first downward facing dog. So inhale, we're gonna pick up the knees. Exhale, shoot the hips up and back behind us. Heels are reaching down towards the floor, even if they don't touch. Belly button coming back towards the spine. Fingers are still spread nice and wide in our down dog. If your down dog is feeling tight, you can take it out for a walk, alternating lifting the heels of the feet. Moving as fast or as slow as you like. You can shake the head yes, shake the head no, doing whatever it is you need to do to make this down dog more accessible, and then finding a place of stillness once you feel like your body is warmed up. Holding this down dog for 3 deep breaths. Inhale, we're gonna bring our gaze forward and take teeny tiny baby steps and bring the feet up to the top of the mat. Exhale, we forward fold. Inhale, we rise up nice and strong, reaching with those arms up and overhead, gaze is up. Exhale, hands come down. We're at the top of the mat, Samastihiti. Preparing for our Sun A. So inhale, we're gonna reach those arms up and overhead, and we're gonna interlace the fingers together, keeping the index fingers out. So like we're making a church steeple with our fingers. Deep inhale in, we're lengthening through the spine, grounding through the soles of the feet. Exhale, we're gonna lean over to the right, going as deep as you wanna go for a lateral stretch. Inhale, rise. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, you can take a little back bend here, it doesn't have to be deep. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, hinge from the hips, release the hands. We're coming into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze is forward, back is flat. Exhale, we're gonna place the palms onto the mat, step it back, high plank. Once again, just like in that tabletop, we're gonna make sure our joints are stacked on top of each other, core is nice and strong, gaze is forward, not at the hands, not at the feet. Strong gaze in front of you. Exhale, we're gonna begin lowering down onto the belly. Drop to the knees if you need to, making sure we're building strength, not injury. And we're squeezing the elbows into the body, lowering down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Glutes are relaxed, coming into cobra. Exhale, push the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Staying in that child's pose for as long as you like, or when you're ready, inhale, tabletop, tuck the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. If you still need to take your dog out for a walk, feel free to do so here. If you want to be in that child's pose a little bit longer, stay in child's pose. On the inhale, bring that gaze forward. Taking teeny tiny baby steps up to the top of the mat. Belly button comes back towards the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise up. Reaching up, gaze is up. Exhale, we're at the top of the mat, Samasthiti D. Sun A, inhale, reach those arms up, gaze is up. Interlace the fingers, keep the index fingers out. Reaching up towards the sky, exhale to the right. Inhale, rise. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, rise. Option to take a little back bend here. Remember, it doesn't have to be deep. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the palms down, step it back, high plank. Joints are stacked on top of each other, gaze is forward, find the breath. Are you clenching the jaw? Push that floor away from you, breathe. Exhale, lower down, nice and slow. Squeeze those elbows into the body. Your arms are touching your rib cage. All the way down, untuck the toes. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat, cobra. Exhale, push the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Staying in child's pose for as long as you like or when you're ready. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath is steady. Inhale, bring your gaze forward. Teeny tiny baby steps to the top of the mat for our last Sun A. Exhale, we forward fold. Inhale, we rise all the way up. Reaching up, gaze is up. Exhale, hands come down. Great job, you guys. One last Sun A. Here we go. Reach those arms up, gaze is up. Interlace the fingers, keep the index fingers out. Reaching high to the sky, inhale in, exhale over to the right. Inhale, rise. Exhale to the left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, take the deepest back bend you can. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, release the hands, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the palms down, step it back, high plank. Check that alignment, we're nice and strong, we're pushing the floor away from us, gaze is forward. Core is engaged. Exhale, lower down, nice and slow. Are you breathing? Great job, you guys. Untuck the toes. Inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Now we're about to transition between our Sun A and Sun B. So if you want an extra long child's pose, this is the perfect place to take one. If not, and you're ready for that down dog, you can inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. No rush to get there though. Breath is nice and steady. From this downward facing dog, we're going to prepare for what's called a Malasana squat. If you're new to Malasana, stay in your down dog or go ahead and rise up to standing, and I can teach you a different way to come into it. If you're familiar with Malasana, what you're going to do is bring your gaze forward. The right foot is going to come outside of the right hand. Left foot comes outside of the left hand. So we're in this kind of squatted position. If you're okay in the hips, you can begin lowering the hips down towards the heels, coming into that deep Malasana squat. Hands can stay down or they can come into prayer. And we use the elbows to widen our knees. The thumbs are in the center of our chest. Now, if you're new to Malasana, or let's say you need some props to help you, here's what you can do instead. If you're at the top of the mat, you'll widen the feet about hips distance and turn the toes outward. From here, you can use your wall, your coffee table, or your blocks. Use that as support and begin bending the knees, lowering down as much as you can. If you don't have anything to help prop you up, you can still squat down low and place the hands on top of the thighs to support you. You can stay here, or you can continue lowering down as much as possible until you make the hips all the way down to the mat. If you've got the hips all the way down to the mat, but you're still feeling pressure in those hip flexors, you can take your block or whatever prop you have and place it underneath your bum, and that will help support you so that the joints aren't hanging in gravity. We're holding nice and steady in our Malasana. We're sitting up nice and tall, so we're not slouching, but nice and tall. And you're gonna have two options. If you're done with Malasana, you don't wanna do anything else, you can go ahead and rise up to standing. But if you're feeling like you could do an extra challenge, we're gonna come into an arm balance called Bakasana or crow pose. I'm gonna back myself up a little bit so y'all can see better what I'm doing. From our Malasana, we're gonna take our hands and place them down in front of us. Fingers are spread nice and wide here. We're gonna pick up the hips and heel toe the feet a little closer together. We're bending the elbows, and we're trying to bring the elbows in towards the body. So instead of having the elbows out like this, we're really trying to bring them in so that they're touching our sides. Once you have the elbows in place, we're gonna put the knees on our tricep and begin leaning forward more than we're comfortable with. You can't be afraid of falling in Bakasana. And then one at a time, you'll pick up your feet, coming into that arm balance. Holding steady. If you want an extra challenge, you can go ahead and kick back into your plank. Find your way into that down dog, and then meet us at the top of the mat. Rising up. Exhale, coming down. So everything that I talk about is optional. If you don't want to do those arm balances, if you don't want to jump back into that plank, you don't have to. We're going to prepare for our Surya Namaskar B, our sun salutation B. Inhale, we reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, we sit back into our Utkatasana, our yogi chair. We really want to make sure that we can see our toes beyond our knees. So if all you're seeing are your kneecaps, you've got to push the hips back, bend the knees a little bit deeper. Holding chair. From here, we're going to inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. So we've been here before. Place the palms down, step it back, high plank. From our high plank, you have the option to drop to the knees. We're going to take 3 chaturanga push-ups. From here, exhale, we come down halfway. 1, rise up. Exhale, 2, rise up. Exhale, 3, holding halfway. Inhale, we come into that up dog, so we're on the tops of the feet, palms of the hands, thighs don't touch here. Exhale, we roll over the toes, downward facing dog. From our down dog, we're gonna inhale, reach that right leg up to the sky for a 3-legged down dog. This right foot's gonna come in between the hands. We're gonna plant this left heel down, rise up nice and strong, Virabhadrasana, warrior 1. So with our hips, we're trying to push or pull this right hip back and push this left hip forward so that our hips are nice and square. Reaching up towards the sky, but the shoulders are away from our ears. Breathe deep. Exhale, hands come down. Pivot on the ball of that back foot, step it back. We're gonna move through a chaturanga. So we push ourselves forward on our toes. Exhale, lower down halfway like our push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Find the breath. You can take a child's pose here as well if down dog is not restful for you. On the inhale, we're gonna take a big step forward, coming up to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, hands come down. So we're back at the top of the mat. We're gonna do that sun V now on the left side. Making sure that the feet are underneath our hips. I should have said that beforehand. So we don't want the feet right next to each other in our Utkatasana. We want them slightly apart. We'll reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, sit back, Utkatasana. Make sure you can see your toes. And once you know the toes are there, bring your gaze back forward. Breathe and smile. Inhale, we're gonna straighten the legs. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the palms down, step it back, high plank. Now you can drop down to the knees for those chaturanga push-ups. You can choose not to do the chaturanga push-ups at all, but if you're choosing to do them, we're gonna do 3 more. Gaze is forward. Exhale, lower down. 1. Exhale, 2. Exhale, 3, hold halfway. Come onto the tops of the feet for that up dog. Exhale, down dog. Catch the breath if you need to. Inhale, reach that left leg to the sky for a 3-legged down dog. Breathe. We're gonna take that left foot in between the hands. Plant that right heel down, rising up. Virabhadrasana, warrior 1. So the hips are nice and square. We're pulling this left hip back, pushing this right hip forward. We're trying to get the knees stacked over the ankle as best we can, reaching up towards the sky. Breathe. Exhale, hands come down. Pivot on the ball of that back foot, step it back. Moving through that chaturanga, push yourself forward on the big toes. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Remember, you always have the option to take a child's pose if you need it. From here, we're gonna drop to the knees. I wanna sit back and take a quick break. So, have you lost your breath? Are you still breathing in and out through the nose? Have you found that your jaw is clenching? Maybe the tongue is pushing up into the roof of the mouth? Is your brow furrowed? If any of those things are happening to you right now, pause here for a moment, take a breath, and I'm gonna demonstrate what we're doing next. So throughout our practice today, we've really been talking about pushing the floor away with our hands when we're coming into that plank, keeping the core nice and strong and our joints in alignment. We're gonna come into a side plank here, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it. The first one is, you can come into that gate pose that we did at the start of class, and I'm gonna refresh y'all on what that looks like. You can also choose to do a side plank on the forearms instead of on the hands if your wrists need a break. If you are not feeling planks anymore and you don't wanna do them, don't do them. I only make suggestions. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start you guys at the base, and I'm gonna build you up to the most advanced version. You don't have to move yet. Just make sure you can see what I'm doing, and I'll kind of show you what each pose looks like, and then we'll do it together. If you wanna come into that gate pose, remember that we start off in our tabletop, and we kick the left foot out, roll onto our left side, and reach that right arm up to the sky. So you can stay here, and pushing the floor away with that left hand. You can keep this right leg down, or you can pick it up. So there's option 1. Option 2 is to come into a high plank and roll onto your side, really pushing the floor away and lifting those hips up. So we're trying to make a rainbow shape, like an arch. Hand can come up. And you can choose still to stay like this, or you can lift that leg up and come down. The last thing we're going to do is we're gonna do an oblique crunch. So if you can get into that side plank or that gate pose and you can pick the leg up, this next step might be for you. So coming back into that side plank. If you can reach the leg up, this is gonna be your next goal. We're gonna bring the arm up and overhead. We'll pick up that right leg and we'll crunch. So 1, woo. Keep your balance as best you can, 2, and 3. And then we'll come down and do the other side. Feel free to experiment as we're going through this process. So this is the part of yoga class that I call a burner, where we make our body really hot, really fast. So keep that in mind. If you have any sort of medical condition, if you get too hot, stop. Take a breath, drink some water, set the rest out. If you're ready for our burner, you're gonna go ahead and come into tabletop or into that plank pose. So deciding where you wanna be, either tabletop or plank. We're gonna roll onto our left side. Reach that right arm up. You can stay here for 3 counts, or you can do the oblique crunch. So we're gonna reach that right arm up and overhead, bend the right knee, right elbow, 1, 2, 3, exhale, come down. Standing on the other side, rolling onto those right limbs, reach that left arm up to the sky. That right or left arm can go overhead, oblique crunch. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. Hands come down, hold this plank. Push the floor away from you. Back is rounded like a turtle shell, gaze is forward. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower. Exhale, child's pose. Great job, you guys. If your wrists are feeling a little sensitive, you can place the hands out in front of you like you're telling someone to stop. Take the right hand, we'll drop it down. Holding onto the right fingertips with the left hand, we're gonna pull back. So keeping this right arm straight, pulling the fingertips towards the forearm. And being gentle with the stretch. This can be a little intense if you're not used to moving your wrist in this position. Same thing on the other side. Extending both hands out. Dropping this left hand, holding onto the left fingertips with the right, bending the fingertips back. Breathe. Don't let that jaw clench. Smile, release the tension. Exhale, let it go, shake it out. Great job, you guys. All right, coming into our cow face arms. So we are done with the bulk of class coming into our cool down now. This is where you may want your strap or your towel. We're gonna come into those cow face arms. There's 2 different ways you can sit. You can stay on the knees like I am, but if this is a little much for the joints, you can sit on your bum. And if you have a tendency to slouch, I recommend either putting a block or a pillow underneath the bum, and that will help tilt your hips forward, and it'll make it easier to sit up nice and tall. So deciding where you want to be, on the bum or on the knees. And I'm going to face away from y'all so you can see what my arms are doing. We're going to start off with the right arm, and we're going to reach it up towards the sky. We're going to bend our right arm back like we're giving ourselves a pat on the back. Now you can stay here. If this is enough for you, you can take the left hand, hold onto the right elbow, and pull it back. If you feel like you can go a little deeper, we'll take this left hand, wrap it behind us, and we'll try to find those right fingertips. Now you can hold a strap in the right hand, and then hold onto your strap with the left hand if you can't reach the fingertips. Sitting up nice and tall. Breath is steady. And then exhale, we gently let go of our hands or our strap and let those arms float down. Now remember, each side's gonna be a little different. My right shoulder is always tighter than my left, So this side tends to be more difficult, and if you're in that same boat, don't try to force the body to be even. Let it be uneven and give those muscles time to warm up and lengthen so that you can come into the pose fully. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. If you're using your strap, hold on to the strap with the left hand this time. We're gonna reach that left arm up towards the sky and bend it back like we're giving ourselves a pat on the back. If this is enough for you, you can take your right hand holding it onto the left elbow and pull it back behind you to get a deeper stretch. If you're feeling okay here, then what you can do is take that right hand now, reach it behind the back, and try to find those left fingertips. Most of us are going to be a little bit tighter on this side because we're typically a right-dominated culture. So if you're right-handed, you may struggle a little bit on this side, and that's okay. Just reach as fast as you can, hold steady, breathe. Really making sure those inhales and exhales are nice and steady. We're not clenching the jaw, we're not furrowing the brow. We're doing our best to smile and breathe through it. Holding just a little bit longer. And then when you're ready on the exhale, gently let those hands go. Let them float away from you. Shake it out. If you're not already on your bum, we're going to come to seated on our bum now. Coming into a nice forward fold. So those legs are going to be lengthened out in front of us. We're sitting up nice and tall, and if you still need that pillow underneath your bum or that block, you can keep it here to help you sit up straight. Knees are going to be together, so our legs have a zipper between them and we've zipped them up. And you have two options for the feet. If the back of your legs need more stretching, you're gonna flex the feet. But if if the front of your legs are feeling tight, then you're gonna point the toes. So pointing works the front, flexing works the back. I'm gonna flex mine today. We're sitting up nice and tall, deep inhale in through the nose. And then as you exhale, that belly button's gonna come back towards the spine. We're gonna hinge forward, and we're gonna reach for whatever we can. So if you have that strap, the strap can go behind the soles of the feet, and you can hold onto your strap. If you don't have a strap, you can hold onto the back of the thighs, the back of the calves, the ankles, the toes, whatever you can reach, and we're gonna hold steady and try our best to breathe deep. Making sure we're not clenching the jaw. And with each exhale we take, we're gonna see if we can sink down just a little bit lower. Inhale, gently rise up. Preparing for a seated spinal twist. We're gonna bend this right knee in and hug it close to our chest. Now you can stay just like this, or if you're feeling okay in the spine, you can take this right foot and cross it over this left leg. So this will deepen the twist. You can keep the left leg nice and long, or you can bend it back behind you. This will kind of give you a wider base to sit on, but it does require a little bit more flexibility in the hips. So the right knee is pointing up towards the sky. We're going to use our right hand like a kickstand of a bike and place it behind us. Inhale, we're going to reach that left arm up towards the sky. And it just depends on your level of flexibility. You can use the hand or the elbow. We're going to take a deep inhale in. Exhale, either use the hand or the elbow to hook outside of that right knee. And we're going to twist. Sitting up nice and tall, making sure we're not collapsing into our chest. That belly is still moving with our inhales and exhales. gonna come back forward. We're gonna give ourselves a little bit of a counter twist. Coming back. We're gonna uncross the legs, lengthen them back out nice and long, and do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna hug the left knee now into the chest. And remember, you can stay just like this, or if you wanna go deeper, you take that left leg, cross it over the right. The right leg can stay out nice and long, or you can bend it back behind you. This time we have our left knee on top. Left hand's gonna come behind us like a kickstand of a bike. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the sky using the hand or the elbow. We're gonna take a deep inhale in. Exhale, twist. Hook the elbow or the hand on that left knee, sitting up nice and tall. Belly is still moving on those inhales and exhales. And then inhale, we're gonna gently untwist. Coming into that counter twist. Coming back center, uncrossing the legs. And we're gonna make our way onto our back. So lowering down nice and slow, all the way on our back. And we're gonna come into a bridge pose. You don't have to practice bridge if you don't want. If you would like an alternative to bridge, you can come into what's called Supta Baddha Konasana, which is where the soles of the feet are together and you let the legs open out to opposite ends. This will work that low spine, that lumbar area, without you actually having to lift up the hips and go backwards. So there's an option if you don't want to go into a bridge today. If you're ready for bridge, we have the knees pointed up towards the sky, soles of the feet are flat on the mat, and they're gonna be hips distance apart. We're also gonna walk the feet as close to our bum as possible. Hands are gonna be down by your side, palms facing down. If you know any variation of bridge that you'd like to practice today, feel free to do those variations. I'm gonna stick to the basic pose of bridge for our practice today. So deep inhale in, we're gonna reach those hips up towards the sky. And we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, gently lower those hips back down. Hugging the knees into the chest. And you can even pick up the head here if you'd like. Giving ourselves a nice big hug. If you're in that Supta Baddha Konasana, go ahead and give yourself a big hug here as well. And then on your next exhale, we're gonna release our hug and let our body just kind of collapse onto our mat. We have no tension in the feet, they're kind of flopped out to the side. Palms are facing up. And you can tuck those shoulder blades kind of down and back behind you to lift up the chest a little bit more. Eyes are closed. And we're coming back to that place of comfort that we started class in. And with each exhale, we are just allowing our body to become more and more heavy, letting that ground support us. Next inhale, begin wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists, ankles, moving the chin from side to side to reawaken the neck. And if your body would like one last final stretch, on an inhale, you can lift those arms up overhead, point the toes like you do when you first wake up in the morning. And then exhale, release. You are more than welcome to stay in an extended Shavasana for as long as you'd like, or if you're ready, you can rise up to a seated position, moving as fast or as slow as you'd like. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. Some words of wisdom before you go. There is no sorrow on earth that heaven cannot heal. Once again, guys, my name is Brittany. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.